El Mundo Deportivo's big interview with Lionel Messi has got a lot of play, as you might expect. The headline, of course, it never occurred to me to leave Barcelona. Messi talking about all sorts of things, including Neymar, Abidal, Valverde. Long interview, Sid. What was your main takeaway from the piece?
Well, I think it's a fascinating interview because Messi talks about a lot of different things. I think the main takeaway was that this was a man being very realistic and that realism was actually quite pessimistic, but there were lots of messages in there. One of the main takeaways, I think, is that he said that right now we can't win the Champions League. With this team, the way it currently is, the situation we're in, he says we need some calm and some tranquility, given that we've had a month, and I really think this phrase is very interesting, we've had a month where it's been problem after problem, and if we do not have calm or isolate ourselves from this, these are going to be very difficult months ahead. He's essentially pointing out what I think we all know, that the institutional crisis at Barcelona is going to make success on the field even more difficult than it already is.
What was the headline for you, Ali, from this piece?
And I think Sid just alluded to it, the fact that there were many messages included in the interview. When he talked about Neymar and how he said he should never have left Barcelona. And there's been opportunities for him to come back, and essentially the club hasn't done enough. And I'm reading between the lines here, but that's what he's saying. And the conversation about Lautaro Martinez and how he's talking about potentially that's the sort of player that we need. And could he play alongside Luis Suarez? Well, there was no mention of Antoine Griezmann anywhere in that. There was mention of Lautaro Martinez, there was mention of Luis Suarez, but there was no, hey, Antoine Griezmann is here and I think he can do the job for us. There was none of that. And so there's a lot of things that he said and other things that he didn't say that if you put two and two together, a lot of messages delivered today by Lionel Messi.
Continued to support Valverde, didn't he? Big time.
Yeah, and I was glad to hear him basically saying, look, why do people think that when decisions are made at Barcelona that it's gone through me first? You know, and that's what I took out of it, because I've been sitting here for a long time, and every time something's been happening at Barcelona over the last 2 or 3 years, everybody keeps saying, well, it's Messi said this, and it all goes through Messi, which I've never believed. I've never believed that. So I was glad to hear him saying, look, Valverde was great, and if it was basically up to me, he wouldn't have been sacked. That tells me that it's not going through him, which I thought in the first place.
And Sid, as he alluded to, particularly with the Neymar stuff, it looks like it's going to be another busy summer, doesn't it, at the Nou Camp?
Yeah, I mean, he would very much like Neymar to come. Of course, he wanted Neymar to come last year, which feeds into what Steve was saying, that if he was making the decisions, then Neymar would have come. So there's some proof there, or at least some evidence to suggest that he's not making the decisions. And I think we might have talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but I really like the line from one of the journalists in Catalonia who said recently, you know, people say that Messi runs the club. If only he did.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.